Saludos familia! While we're waiting for my kitchen studio to get built behind me, sharing with you one of the last videos I made while still in California. Hope you enjoy. Grilling season is upon us, and if you're looking for a break from the usual suspects dominating the grilling scene, step away from the predictable burgers and hot dogs and say hello to Puerto Rican Pinchos, where juicy chunks of meat and some Caribbean flavor come together in perfect harmony. These skewered delights will revolutionize your grilling game. This is Kebobs a la Boricua. Saludos familia! My name is Angel. I'm an obsessive home cook on a mission to be able to cook anything and everything by learning the science and history of the food I'm making so I can share with my loved ones and friends, which now includes you. So what are pinchos? Pinchos are the Puerto Rican version of kebabs. They're basically marinated, skewered meat cooked over a grill. They're very popular in Puerto Rico as a roadside treat or as a late night snack. Puerto Rican pinchos are made of three components: the meat, traditionally pork or chicken, a sweet and sometimes spicy barbecue sauce, and lastly, an accompaniment of bread or some other starch. They are great for any occasion, but they are exceptional for gatherings and outdoor activities. For a full list of equipment and ingredients, please check out the description below. Now, amayax.
Alright, so to make pinchos, we'll break it down into two stages. The prep, where the bulk of the work occurs. Here, we'll make the sauce, make or prep the bread, marinate the meat, and skewer the meat. Secondly, we'll have the cooking on the grill and enjoying and sharing. Let's start with the sauce. In a pot over medium heat, add the ketchup, apple cider vinegar, brown sugar, a little cumin, some salt, red pepper flake for some heat, fresh black pepper, always adobo, and the kicker to this sauce, some guava paste. Mix everything together and constantly stir to avoid scorching on the bottom of the pot. Cook until the guava paste has dissolved. Sometimes it needs a little help breaking down. If you feel the sauce is too thick, feel free to thin it out with a bit of water. Once everything is incorporated and consistency coats the back of the spoon, allow it to cool down a bit and store it. I like placing it in a squeeze bottle for easier application later. I assure you, this sauce will make you want to put it on everything. Next, we prep the bread. I'm making Puerto Rican pan criollo, but I'll show you how to make that in another video. Just use any soft bread you can find if you don't have access to pan criollo. Continuing on, we'll marinate the meat. Pinchos usually can be found made of chicken or pork, with my favorite being the pork ones. So let's start with those. Take your cut of pork. It could be a pork shoulder, pork butt, some pork chops, doesn't matter. Just be able you can cut the meat up into 1 to 1.5 inch cubes or chunks. Ensure you're removing any excess fat or silver skin if you're using one of the big chunks of meat. You want the meat to be ready to consume. Place your chunks into a zip top bag and place the bag inside a bowl to secure for any leaks. Next, repeat the process for boneless, skinless chicken thighs. You can use white meat if you prefer. For a juicier and tastier result, I suggest thighs. Cut them up into 1 to 1.5 inch chunks and place them into another zip-top bag and inside a bowl, and we're ready to marinate. Once you've prepped the meat, into each bag add some minced garlic. If you don't want to deal with peeling garlic works great. Add sofrito, homemade is always better. Add adobo, of course. Dried oregano, add the Sazon packets, a glug of olive oil, salt, freshly cracked pepper, and lastly some red wine vinegar. Next, grab each bag, close them up, take most air out of it, and mix them up so the meat is covered in the marinade. Bring it around town. Place them back in the bowl. At this point, you can let them marinate for at least 2 hours before skewering. You can also place them in the fridge overnight, or you can freeze them for later use. We're heading to my buddy's place tomorrow, so we'll leave them in the fridge.
All right, new day, new kitchen. We're out here at my buddy's place in San Francisco. We're gonna use our backyard and grill up some pinchos.
Alright, let's skewer these bad boys. You can use any type of skewer you prefer. Just remember, if you're using any type of wooden one, ensure to soak them in water for at least 15 minutes. Pinchos in Puerto Rico are usually just meat, sauce, bread, so no need to leave room as you're skewering. Add meat to the skewer, ensuring to leave 2 to 3 inches at the bottom as a handle and 1 inch at the top for placing the slice of bread. Once you've got all your skewers ready, this is again another chance to freeze them or store them in the fridge until needed. Last thing to do before cooking is slicing up the bread so it's ready for when we're out there.
We outside! We're outside here in a beautiful, chilly, summer, foggy day in San Francisco, ready to grill. Grill is the best way, most authentic way to enjoy pinchos. So let's get started. Today to make pinchos, we're using the best charcoal out there, lump charcoal. Video in the description, watch after this to learn why it is. I always fail at this, but I'm a barbecue veteran. The best and only way to like charcoal is using a chimney. They're pretty inexpensive and you don't need to use lighter fluid. Being a barbecue veteran, you don't need a fire starter. Just use the same old bag. Today we'll be using zone grilling with a hot and a cold zone. But you can learn more about that in the video in the description below, but after this.
Once all of your coals in the chimney have lit up, add it to one side of the grill and add more charcoal to it. Allow this new added charcoal to light and wait for all of your coals to become white hot. We want them to be white hot, which is a stage in which there's a layer of ash above them and there's no more flame. We want to avoid the flame because we want the heat to cook them, not the flame itself.
Let's start with some pork.
Once our coals are ready and the grill is nice and hot, we place our pincho in the hot zone and allow to cook.
Once you put them on the grill, they want to turn to stick. You got to be patient. The grill and the meat will talk to you. The meat will tell you when it's ready to flip.
Cook for 2 to 3 minutes and flip while still in the hot zone. Don't be afraid to constantly flip them. We want to ensure they cook thoroughly and not burn.
Always remember to turn your tongs on.
And to like and subscribe.
Just remember, if you click it more than twice, you're playing too much. The reason you want to cook over charcoal is because the high heat creates nice caramelization, aka the Maillard reaction. Also, as drippings fall onto the charcoal, carbon compounds get stuck to the meat, which gets a nice carbony charcoal flavor. As well as the smoky sea adds a nice smoky flavor. The main reason you have zone grilling is so as some get more charred, you can move it off the high heat while still letting them cook.
After about 10 to 15 minutes of flipping the skewers, move them over to the cool zone and check for doneness with a thermometer. We want the pork to hit at least 145 degrees Fahrenheit and the chicken to hit at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit. As long as you cook each protein to their adequate internal temp, you can grill them together without worry of cross-contamination. While still in the cool zone, lather up the meat with some of the sauce. The squeeze bottle makes it a lot easier. Allow the sauce to tack up for 2 to 3 minutes.
Last thing to do is while that sauce is waiting to tack up, take your bread, put it on indirect heat, let it heat up a bit and toast up. If you want to be a little extra, you can throw some garlic butter in it. Nice level up. Once the sauce is nice and tacked up, you're ready to serve. And there you have it, Puerto Rican Pinchos. Now you can change up your grilling game this summer. Nothing left to do? Share with my buddies. Want to come get them? Take a little pincho, or bread on the top. There you go. You can eat it 2 ways. You can either go bite and bite, or you can grab your bread and a little sandwich, but I go the bite and bite method. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and cooked this for your loved ones. To learn how to make the sofrito we use for this recipe, check out the video right here. Whip, and then. Okay. Ooh! You guys want some?